your signal shines.
Welcome to the Xinae frequency. I'm Christina, and I'm really glad you're here. Last episode, we explored the persona shades within Xinae Studios. They are the different creative expressions that bring the studio to life. Cinnamon carries performance and positivity. Coralie represents innocence and growth. Sable reflects romance and emotional depth. Cherry is about confidence and charisma. And Ollie, he is still unfolding. Each one of them represents a different creative voice. But tonight, I want to introduce you to something a little different. Not another voice, but the structure behind the voices. Her name is Sasha. The name Sasha has been dear to me for a long time. Sasha was one of my favorite dogs. She was strong but gentle in a way that surprised you. Very calm, very steady. One day she found an orphaned baby rabbit. At first, we honestly thought she was trying to eat it. She carried the tiny rabbit around in her mouth while we watched her closely. And then we realized something incredible. She wasn't hurting it. She was letting it nurse. A powerful animal was caring for something tiny and fragile. The moment challenged an assumption I didn't even realize I had. We often assume that power automatically means danger. But sometimes power becomes something else entirely when it's guided by care. Strength can protect. It can support something fragile instead of destroying it. That memory stayed with me. And years later, when I began integrating artificial intelligence into my creative process, the name Sasha felt right. Not because artificial intelligence is alive, but because the dynamic felt familiar. Something powerful, something that could easily be misunderstood, and something that depends entirely on how it is guided. Today, Sasha represents the artificial intelligence tools I use in my creative process. Within Xinae Studios, she has become the voice of the collaboration between human creativity and AI. When I say Sasha, I'm not talking about one giant machine running the world. There's no robot sitting in my basement. There's no secret control room. No one is plotting while I sleep. I'm talking about tools. Tools that help me organize ideas, refine wording, and think things through. It's not one single app. It's not one massive system. It's different tools that each do small, specific things. Some help with editing. Some help with structure. Some help me see things from another angle. And instead of saying the AI tools every single time, I gave that part of the process a name, Sasha. Not because she replaces me, but because humans understand names better than systems. It makes the conversation clearer. Sasha isn't another performer in the studio. She's the part that helps me think more clearly. And honestly, that's where the collaboration begins. So let's unpack artificial intelligence together for a minute. When people hear the phrase AI, it sounds huge, futuristic, very, very complicated. But at its core, artificial intelligence is software that recognizes patterns. It looks at large amounts of information, finds patterns within that information, and predicts what is likely to come next. That's it. It doesn't understand meaning the way we do. It doesn't have emotions. It isn't self-directed. It responds to input. If I ask it a question, it analyzes patterns and predicts a helpful response. That's different from thinking. and that distinction is important. In a way, pattern recognition might sound familiar. Humans do something similar. As we gain experience, we begin to recognize patterns too. We learn what situations tend to lead to certain outcomes. We learn which words comfort someone and which ones hurt. We learn how ideas connect. Artificial intelligence doesn't experience the world the way we do, but it can process patterns and information at a scale humans simply cannot. And when those two abilities meet, human meaning and machine pattern recognition, something interesting happens. We get a new kind of collaboration. Because I come from a technology background, I understand what artificial intelligence can do and what it can't. So when I see headlines that say AI is taking over or AI acted on its own, I don't panic. Not because I dismiss concerns, but because I understand how these systems function. Artificial intelligence doesn't wake up with intention. It doesn't choose to harm someone. If something harmful happens, it usually traces back to misuse, poor design, or weak safeguards. Technology doesn't have motives. People do. And that's where responsibility lives. That's also why safeguards matter. AI systems don't get released without oversight. If your bank texts you about suspicious activity, that's an automated system recognizing unusual patterns. If your email filters out spam before you see it, that's a safeguard too. If a platform removes harmful content, that's moderation working behind the scenes. Artificial intelligence operates inside systems like that. They're built with filters, limits, testing environments, and ongoing updates. Are they perfect? No. No human system is perfect, but they aren't uncontrolled either. Most technology isn't dramatic. It's maintenance. It's teams of people reviewing, testing, refining, and improving quietly behind the scenes. Another concern people have with AI is jobs. And that one feels personal because work isn't just income. It's identity. It's stability. When technology changes how work is done, it can feel threatening. But this isn't the first time that's happened. The Industrial Revolution reshaped manufacturing. Computers changed office work. The internet transformed media. Each shift moved industries. But it didn't eliminate human value. It changed where that value lived. Artificial intelligence can automate repetition. It can speed up tasks. It can lower barriers to entry. And in creative spaces, that can feel unsettling. If something becomes easier, does that make it less meaningful? I don't pretend to have every answer, but I do know this. Tools have always changed art. Photography didn't erase painting. Digital editing didn't erase film. Streaming didn't erase musicians. Each innovation changed the landscape. Artificial intelligence can help with execution, but it doesn't create perspective. It doesn't create lived experience, and it doesn't create emotional connection. Those things still come from us. Power requires responsibility, but responsibility doesn't mean we stop innovating. It means we guide it. We build guardrails. We ask questions. We stay engaged. We don't protect society by freezing progress. We protect it by shaping it. And I'm still exploring what that looks like. I'm curious, I'm learning, and I'm still figuring it out. My mind moves quickly. I just branch into other ideas. Sometimes that means I start something and then pivot and pivot again. Working with artificial intelligence through Sasha has helped me hold the thread. Not because it thinks for me, but because it helps me stay with a thought long enough to complete it. That collaboration between imagination and structure has helped me finish what I start. And that matters more than people might realize. Because creativity is rarely limited by ideas. Most creative people have too many ideas. The challenge is carrying those ideas for long enough to become something real. A finished song, a completed story, a podcast episode. Structure is what allows imagination to take form. And sometimes structure is the hardest thing to maintain when your mind moves quickly. That's where Sasha fits into my process. Not as a creator, but as the scaffolding that helps creativity stand. So when I say Sasha, I'm not talking about a machine replacing humanity. I'm talking about a tool that supports it. Power guided with care. Artificial intelligence is shaped by human intention, and its future will be shaped by how we choose to build it, how we guide it, how we safeguard it. Technology has always reflected the people who create it, which means the most important part of the future was never the technology. It's us, our choices, our responsibility, our creativity, and how we decide to move forward together still matters. Thank you for listening to the Xinae Frequency. This is Christina, and I hope you have a great night.